It is my pleasure to introduce the man that had the vision for this party about 20 years ago. We're excited to celebrate the 19th running of the Baltimore Running Festival on Saturday. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Lee Corey.
All right, thank you, Slim, and thank you, everybody, for coming. We got a full house here today, so everybody, you are welcome to find a seat anywhere in the room and kind of set up camp. We got a great day for you. We're going to talk about the event. We're also going to, our friends from McCormick and Schmick are going to feed you, which is awesome. So first thing we need to do is thank Dana and Kelsey from McCormick and Schmick for a great meal that they provide in this great room. So hats off to them. On Saturday, 20,000 runners from around the world in all 50 states will hit the streets in the 19th annual Baltimore Running Festival and experience Charm City, the Charm City that we know. Why this event is so great for the city? Well, it's an annual event you can count on. In fact, 19 straight years of success. Due to a lot of the people in this room. So I want to thank everybody once again. $40 million economic impact per year, over $1 million generated for charities in the Baltimore area, and it's always a great PR vehicle for Baltimore in our country and all over the world. What's new this year? Well, there's only one thing that's new. It's that handsome gentleman in a wild suit, which I can't wait to see him speak, and that's Belcara Health. But besides that, nothing is new, which is super because the course is exactly the same as it's been, which makes it easier for our volunteers, makes it easier for our police department, makes it easier for our DOT crew, and it makes it easier for our crew as well. So that is something that's never happened in 19 years, the exact same courses. So we're excited about that. One of the highlights last year, of course, we ran through Baltimore's hottest new neighborhood, and that's Harbor Point. And Harbor Point is back with us this year. Of course, we'll be running back through there. I want to thank our friend Chris Seiler and Kathy Bryant for helping us make that happen. Also, I'd like to acknowledge and thank a lot of people here, so bear with me, but these people are really, really important. That's our friends from BOPA, Roz Healy, Tracy Baskerville, Bob Sicard, Donna Drew Sawyer. They've been here with us since day one to help us coordinate all of our communication with the various agencies in the city that make this happen. Maryland Transportation Admin, Eddie Acoro, Department of Transportation, Frank Murphy, Ed Lee, Quentin Smith, Andre Smith, Charles Baker, Robert Branch, Kenny Ching, Marlon Walton, Brent Hooper, Al Malone, Toby Goodwin, Benita Sahota, the Dominic duo, Kathy and Tim, who are great, Herman Vigil, Anita James, Michelle Abbott Cole, and Kendall, and of course Steve Sharkey. Those are the people that get all the cones up all over the course. 26.2 miles of cones all over the city of Baltimore, and also all those bike racks, the stages. It really sets the tone for a great, great presentation for our runners and a great reflection of Baltimore. So we want to thank those guys. OEM, our friends from the Office of Emergency Management, Tony Smith and David McMillan. Office of Neighborhoods, our old friend Tony White. Recreation and Parks, Courtney Weinstock. Baltimore Fire Department, Chief Niles, Captain Weems, Chief McCarran. And of course, our Baltimore Police Department, Commissioner Harrison, Deputy Commissioner Michael Sullivan, who's here with us today, Major Milton Corbett, who's going to speak a little later, Captain Anthony Smith, who's with us, Lieutenant Kenny Butler, Sergeant Casey Zellers, Colonel Richard Worley, Sergeant Derwin Jackson, Major Sam Hood, and Lieutenant Jerome Forrest. I can't tell you the countless hours that those guys spend coordinating with us the entire course, coverage of the course, and it's a really a great partnership that we have with them. And of course, the mayor's office. The mayor's been so supportive of us. Lester Davis, Cheryl Goldstein, Kim Morton, and Andre Davis. I want to thank those guys for their support. Every year, our friend, a true patriot and retired military, Sid Bush, runs to honor a fallen soldier, and this year will be no different. In 2015, a very cool thing happened. Sid ran his 200th full marathon right here in Baltimore and was surprised by a Baltimore police escort to the finish by several motorcycles and BPD police helicopter. Ladies and gentlemen, where are you, Sid? Please, Sid, take a bow. There's our friend. It was pretty cool, by the way. I happened to be in incident command, and at the time, Melissa Hyatt was in there with us, Deputy Commissioner Melissa Hyatt, and she said, "Who is this guy with the American flag?" So I explained to her who he was, and he had a crowd of people running with him to support him in his quest to run 200 marathons. And in any case, I explained it to Melissa, and Melissa said, "I got it." She coordinated with Milt. They sent the motorcycles out there. They sent the helicopter out there, and they escorted him to the finish. So that is a great, great story of the Baltimore Marathon. Runners like Sid make up the soul of this event. Simply put, they are the answer to the question, why do we do this every year? And none of these great runner stories would be possible without the efforts of our 1,000 volunteers all along the course. And one of those volunteers for many years is now running our city. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to introduce the Mayor of Baltimore and our longtime volunteer, Mayor Jack Young.
Good morning to everyone. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge Lee Corrigan and Corrigan Sports Enterprise, Milton Corbett from the Baltimore Police Department. Amazing, it has been 20 years since this event was conceived. And today we're kicking off the annual Baltimore Marathon and Running Festival right here in the great city of Baltimore. We're only 2 days away from the greatest running festival in the region. As the excitement builds, I want to congratulate and thank all of the sponsors who work with Corrigan Sports Enterprise to put on this amazing race and to ensure that the quality of this event continue to rise. Of course, I also want to thank all of the city and state agencies that come together in the spirit of collaboration to coordinate the logistics for this huge lift. This year's festival will be unlike any other, and I'm going to tell you why after I finish. We have over 20,000 runners from all 50 states and from 17 different countries around the world. The Inner Harbor will again be the centerpiece of this year's festival, with even more opportunities for visitors and residents alike to enjoy a safe and festive downtown experience. Seeing the streets of Baltimore filled with professional and amateur runners is something we all look forward to each October. In every neighborhood, people line the streets to cheer runners and hand out food and water. It is truly a wonderful community event for our city, and I can't wait. The Running Festival also gives our local economy a huge boost, about $40 million of economic impact per year, as Lee has stated, and $14 million raised for charity since this great event began. From our main street to the Inner Harbor, this is a unique opportunity to showcase the best of Baltimore. So let the countdown begin. And the reason why I said that they're going to be missing something is I ran in the marathon. It was a team of council members, and we never got to the finish line because one of our runners didn't show up. They were in the race, but they didn't show up. So we tagged along and ran anyway. But I normally line the streets of Washington between Eager Street and between Chase Street, and I hand out water. I fill all of the cups and hand out water. I won't be able to do that this year because I'll be down here. Thank you, Lee. Because I enjoy doing that and to see so many runners running through my neighborhood, my community where I grew up. And I see my son-in-law here, Brandon. He always running the race each year. And now my 10-year-old granddaughter will be running along with my wife. And I don't know why he's here. He's supposed to be at work. I just texted him and asked him. But he owns his own company. But I texted him and asked him, was he supposed to be at work? So again, to those citizens who might be watching, you have 2 days to plan ahead of how you're going to travel and get to your locations. So I'm encouraging you to know that the race is coming. So prepare. Again, Lee Corrigan and your group and all the sponsors, we want to thank you all for what you do to help showcase one of the greatest cities in America, and that's Baltimore City. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Young. Right now, we're going to welcome our official medical partner, MedStar. And I can't tell you what a great job these guys do, too. Endless meetings. This guy right here tortures us about once every 2 weeks to make sure we're all buttoned up, and we are, and they are. Once again, we'll have 7 on-course medical locations and 1 giant medical tent at the finish. Over 250 volunteers are on hand to assist the runners on Saturday. Special thanks goes out to Sean Huffman, Dr. Matt Sedgley, Dr. John Senator, and it's my pleasure to introduce the Director of Medical Services here for the Baltimore Marathon, Dr. Eric Almley.
All right, thanks, Lee. A few notes here. So MedStar Sports Medicine is proud to be the official medical team of the Baltimore Running Festival. We look forward to this weekend every year. It is truly inspirational to see 20,000 athletes and runners coming out to accomplish whatever goal they set out to achieve, whether it's a couch to 5K or their first time marathon. Any way that we can help out in that endeavor so that their journey is a safe one is a pleasure and an honor on our part. We have an amazing medical team this year. Not only do we have docs, nurses, and other health professionals from the MedStar health system, but we have ER residents from University of Maryland and Georgetown, and we have med students from Maryland and Hopkins joining us this year. We also have volunteer students from both the athletic training program at Towson and the EMS program at Howard County Community College with us as well. It's a great opportunity for these students to learn and for us to teach and give back. This year we have, as Lee said, 7 first aid stations. 1 we actually repurposed to kind of hit athletes as they're coming back downtown, so technically 8 first aid stations and a comprehensive medical tent at the finish line. From past years' experience, we anticipate that at these tents we will see upwards of 400 runners. In addition to the contact with injured runners, we will have a recovery zone that we'll be hosting at McKeldin Square, where our athletic training staff will help with stretching, foam rolling, and other related activities for the non-injured runners. Once again, we'll be working with ProCare Ambulance Services to provide EMS services, and we've been working very closely with Baltimore City Fire Department and appreciate their help lining up additional assets along the course. This year, we feel fortunate to have favorable weather conditions. It looks like, last I checked, it's going to be about 64 degrees and sunny, hopefully less wind than we have today, but otherwise it's perfect conditions for running a marathon, so hopefully that'll help reduce any kind of heat-related illness that we typically will see. Lastly, I wanted to mention something about RaceSafe. RaceSafe is an app that we use to do documentation, but we're encouraging runners to sign up through iracesafe.com. To any runners that have any significant chronic medical conditions or who are taking prescription medications, they can set up an account at that website, and through the app, our providers can access their health information and have the best information available to provide the most appropriate care in the event of a serious illness. Lastly, after the race, all athletes who are experiencing non-urgent running-related illness can feel free to reach out to our sports medicine team at any time to schedule an appointment through 888-44-SPORT. Once again, have a great weekend. I hope to see you all there. Hopefully none of you who are running in the actual medical tents. But thank you again to Corrigan Sports, the press, and the rest of my team at MedStar Health.
Thank you, Doctor. Now it's time for me to brag on our media partners. One of the really neat things about the Baltimore Marathon is we have live TV and radio coverage, and I can't tell you how fortunate we are. Every year I go to Running USA, which is a group, organization of marathon directors from all over the country, and one of the questions they ask, who has live TV? My arm shoots up, and about 4 other people's arms shoot up. Us, New York, Chicago, Boston, and that's about it. So that is really cool. That's something we have, and we got a hats off to our friends at WBAL TV who have been with us since the very start, and they're so supportive of this event, and it really elevates the perception of our event. There's a reason why we came out of the gates with 6,000 runners, and then we ran up to 20,000, our growth, during the time of marathons growing all over the country, and marathons were shrinking. Our event was growing, and I think it's in large part due to the perception, certainly in this community, and our friends from BAL, radio and TV. And then the radio people come on, and Kerry Pahegan comes up and he says, hey, we want to carry this live. We want to do some live interviews with the winners, with all the important volunteers, with all the different charity stories, all that stuff. So they're live at the finish line too. So hats off to Kerry and Dan Jarris. Thank you very much for your guys' support. I know Big Pete Gilbert's going to be live holding down the desk there at the finish line. So thanks, Pete. We appreciate it. I'm going to give you the full scoop of the event here. Thursday and Friday, today, we got the Health and Fitness Expo going at the convention, and that's where all the runners must go to pick up their race bibs, and of course, their awesome Under Armour shirt, which also is another reason that sets us apart. We'll talk about that shortly. But it's a great scene, and I would encourage the media to get down there and take a look at that, because it really gives you a good feel for the event and the excitement and the energy building up to the event. Also, one of the things that makes our event special is we have an awesome backdrop of the Inner Harbor. And our friends from BG Home have sponsored our Celebration Village, which is awesome because we got free beer for all the runners. We have a signature cocktail. We got live music. We know how to put on a party. This goes back to my childhood days or my high school days. Officer Corbin. I was good at throwing a party, so we have a heck of a party going on all day at the Inner Harbor at the BGE Celebration Village, so that is a great place to be. As I mentioned earlier, everything is almost exactly the same, except we got a great new partner. We're happy to welcome a new sponsor into the Baltimore Running Festival, Belcara Health. At 7:30, over 5,000 people will run the Belcara 5K. Thanks to Allie and Christiana for your help and support. Belcara 5K is where we get them hooked, by the way. Our research tells us that if we can get them to participate in the Belcara 5K, 59% of them come back the next year and run in some aspect of our event. So it's a very important part of our event, and we love having them as our sponsor. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Dr. Michael Cohen.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Lee, for your introduction, and it's my pleasure to share the stage with Corrigan Sports, all the dignitaries and officials, as well as all the fellow sponsors. All of those who have dedicated time and resources in support of the 19th Annual Baltimore Running Festival. Speaking on behalf of my team at Belcara Health, we're really honored and excited to be here for the first time and hopefully for many more years in this running festival, which is an event that breathes life and energy into the city. And in these trying times, this is really something I think that gives us a nice boost, and I personally am very excited about being here. We consider community partners. We're also considering impact. How are we impacting our community, our patients, our families, our neighbors, for the greater good? So naturally, when we came across the opportunity to sponsor the Belcara Health 5K, we jumped on the opportunity. We immediately signed on, and are very happy to be an active partner in this process. Together, we're creating the narrative of strength, energy, camaraderie, and vitality that is the greater Baltimore community. On a micro level, our Belcara Health team has been around for about 5 years. I'm not sure that people are exactly aware of who we are right now. We started out as a plastic surgery practice 26 years ago and have evolved into a multi-specialty practice that involves dermatology, ophthalmology, plastic surgery, integrative medicine. We have a skin and laser center, and then we have a full operatory with 2 operating rooms. So we're really excited about bringing these world-class physicians, and everybody that practices in this practice are world-renowned, speak around the nation and as well as around the world. We have support staff from dietitians, nurses, medical assistants, physician's assistants, and it's just a really evolving, lovely practice on Falls Road in Mount Washington. As a marathon runner myself, I'm excited to be running alongside of all of those heading towards the course on Saturday for this 5K, not the marathon. I understand the grit, tenacity, and dedication that it takes to train for a race, whether someone's walking their first 5K or they're actually participating in the marathon, hoping to exceed their personal record. They've put a lot of effort into this, and we understand what that commitment is. We have the same sort of commitment towards our patients, who we have worked with for many, many years, and we're dedicated to helping them achieve their health and wellness goals. We like to say Belcara Health is where health and beauty blend. So it kind of makes sense. It's a plastic surgery practice that evolved into more than that. So it's where health and beauty blend. And everybody that's in our practice is dedicated to making their lives better and their health better, just like the runners have dedicated their time and efforts into doing the best that they can in this race. In addition, we'll be bringing some of our wellness services to the race, understanding that there is a lot of wear and tear on a runner's body. We have IV hydration set up in the celebration village afterwards. These IVs can bring rehydration, replace micronutrients that have been lost. We give this to post-op and pre-op patients as well. So it's really sort of a new great thing that we can do to help the community as well as our patients at home. Again, as a leader in delivering health care and beauty and wellness services in Baltimore, we're delighted to be here at this running festival. We look forward to seeing everybody. I'll be in the 5K, not in the marathon, thank goodness. So good luck, and thank you again for having us.
Next up at 8 a.m. at Camden and Russell Streets, right there in front of Pickles Pub. About 4,000 will hit the streets in the Baltimore Marathon. At the same time, one of the special aspects of our event is our team relay. And we'll have over 700 teams of 4 running the entire distance as a team in the Baltimore Marathon for the team relay part of it, which is a great part. It's time to talk about our friends at the police department once again. Baltimore's finest. The men and women in blue will not only be making the event safe for our runners and residents, but 200 officers will actually be participating in the Commissioner's Precinct Challenge Cup. They'll be racing for pride and right to have their names engraved on the trophy. And of course, that trophy will grace the halls of their individual precincts for the entire year. Year after year, we hear from our runners during the survey how great the Baltimore Police Department is. You know, these guys are pulling long hours anyway, and then they come out for the Baltimore Marathon and have to stand at an intersection for 6, 7, 8 hours. And they could come. They could come to our party with a cruddy attitude, but they don't. They come with a great attitude and a high five and a kind word for all of our runners that come from all over the country to participate. And that's something that makes our event really special, and it's something that really reflects on the city of Baltimore. So I want to thank all those police officers for their support. Also wanted to note the incredible coordination of the Baltimore Police Department. One of the things that they do is they have an incident command room, and I spent some time in that incident command room, and they have TV screens, okay? And with the help of our friends from Skyline Technologies, they are able to see every block of the 26.2-mile course. So they'll be up there. You know, Major Hood will be working the technology along with Don, who's with us from Skyline Technology, and they have the opportunity to literally pinpoint a specific intersection, zoom in, and see the logo on your shirt. So that's the kind of coordination that those guys will bring to the party. So I want to thank our friends from Skyline Technology for making that easy for everybody in the Baltimore Police Department and with our organization. And now, without further ado, I'd like to introduce a guy who's been with us since the very start of this thing. You know, 20 years ago, he had some suggestions that we didn't take. He wanted to run it straight up 83 and straight back. I said, well, we'll only be around for a year then. But anyway, he's been great to work with, and he is on our side, and he's on your side too, Major Milton Corbett.
Good morning, everyone. As he said, I'm Major Milton Corbett. Lee Corrigan came to me about 20 years ago with this idea, and the mayor just asked me, did I really say that? And I can stand here and say I did. Because keep one thing in mind, I was a sergeant back then, and the whole idea was to look at manpower and resources. And when he told me that he wanted to do this, I didn't know how much money he had, because I know covering this race would cost a lot of money. So today we could stand here 19 years later and see all of these special guests here and all the organizers who have come forth to assist in putting this race together. But I want to say on behalf of the Baltimore Police Department, we're excited to be participating. I'm honored to be part of this, as I said earlier, for 19 years, Lee. You've been truly a friend. On Saturday, our city will be hosting runners all across the country. And they're going to be running from one side of the city to the other side of the city. This will impact 8 of our 9 police districts. If you're planning to come downtown, as the mayor said, please schedule your travel, identify exactly how you're going to get there, where you're going to park, know where you're going to park, know how you're going to get there, know where you're going to park, know how you're going to get there. And the reason why I repeat that is that so many officers at roll call said, Major, we have people blowing the horn, they telling us that they don't know about it. Well, this is a press conference, and this press conference is letting everybody know that this 26.2 miles is coming to Baltimore. So therefore, we want everyone in Baltimore City to know that officers, along with our traffic enforcement officers, along with a few flaggers that we've hired, will be assisting us get through this marathon. There'll be plenty of police officers deployed across the city to help with traffic control and with the runners and both spectators. In addition to our Baltimore police officers, we have been working with our other law enforcement partners to make sure Baltimore is ready for this great event. We will also have members from the Baltimore Police Department participating in several of the races on Saturday, and it seems like every year the number of officers that are participating is increasing. I can stand here and I'm honored to say that my unit is holding the trophy, which is the TAC team. The SWAT team, that trophy is now sitting outside of the office where I sit. So I'm defending that with anyone in the Baltimore Police Department. I would like to take this time to thank Lee Corrigan and Corrigan Sport Enterprise for your generous support from the Baltimore Police Department and the Signal 13 Foundation. Since 1983, Frank J. Pataglia, Signal 13 Foundation, has provided financial assistance to the members of the Baltimore Police Department who need assistance, whether or not it's through death, whether or not it's through health issues, or whether or not the loss of a fire. The Signal 13 Foundation has always been there. I would like to thank Barbara Clapp for participating and being on the board with the Signal 13. So as I said again and again, please, 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 the Baltimore Marathon is always the 3rd Saturday in October. It will be in Baltimore this Saturday, so please know your route, and we'll be out there. Thank you, Lee.
Thanks, Milt. Now it's time to introduce our official bank partner. I'm not sure if you guys have noticed, but our friends from Fulton Bank are making some moves here in the city. They recently changed their name from the Columbia Bank to Fulton Bank, and they've been opening offices and they've been opening branches all over the city, and I want to thank them for their support. Special thanks goes out to Brad Rodier, Angel, and Jessica, who I know are here with us today. Thank you guys for your support of this great community event. And at this time, I'd like to introduce the regional president, the guy that's making this all happen here in Baltimore, Mr. Joe Durham.
You know, I was thinking when Billy Joel played at Camden Yards earlier in the year, he, I think twice during the concert, played songs that he announced to everybody were some of his less popular, and he said, this is probably a good time to go to the bathroom. It's what I kind of feel as the banker. You know, I got the mayor, I got the police, I got Pandora, I got a new sponsor, I got you, and who the heck wants to listen to the banker? But here we go. And while this is a press conference, and we've been doing this for 3 years, I always feel like what I have to say is really a conversation between the bank and the mayor. And so I'm going to keep that going for another minute or two. As Lee mentioned earlier, not a lot has changed as it relates to the route. And even though we've changed our name and became one bank under our parent, not a lot has changed with us either. And that really is proven out by a commitment to Baltimore City that's really stronger than ever. We developed an urban market strategy to solidify and improve the work we do daily in and with the city. And implementation hit full stride in 2019. The strategy did not include building or acquiring a downtown monument to ourselves. Instead, like a true community bank, we rolled up our sleeves and got to work. In May, we opened a loan production office on North Wolf Street in the Middle East community. There we hired residential loan officers, an Operation Hope representative, a community outreach officer, and a business relationship manager. But more importantly, one half of our space there is dedicated to a classroom where we work directly with the community to improve financial literacy and increase home ownership in the city. By June of this year, we had settled 200 residential mortgages within the city and on pace to settle over 450 by the end of the year. In August, you're sitting down, we opened a branch in the same community, not consolidated or closed, but invested in Middle East. In September, with almost $18 million in closed business loans, Fulton Bank was recognized for the third consecutive year as the second largest SBA lender in Baltimore City. By the way, we're not the second largest bank. We've hired a community development lender who this year led efforts to provide financing for affordable housing at the former site of Memorial Stadium. And we joined the Baltimore Community Lending Loan Pool, which provides financing to minority and non-bankable developers who work and revitalize neighborhoods in Baltimore City. And the beat goes on in 2020, when we will open 2 more branches within Baltimore City. One in the community of Greektown, proud moment for me, that's where I grew up, and across the street from the Morgan campus. Just like Lee and the Corrigan sports engine that fuels the Baltimore Running Festival, Fulton Bank is here to stay, supporting and celebrating our Baltimore City community. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. Next up at 9:45, starting at the Inner Harbor, which is an extremely popular part of our event, the Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield Half Marathon takes off. 10,000 strong will take off from the Inner Harbor. It's a great spot on the course for everybody to hang out. Come down to the Inner Harbor about 9 o'clock and you'll see the full marathoners running through, the fast ones, right, on the far right-hand lane. The next 3 lanes are taken up by those 10,000 half marathoners corralling themselves literally from McKeldin Square all the way up to the Maryland Science Center. So it's a great part of our event, and obviously people are attracted to the Care First half like nobody's business over the years. So want to thank all the people at Care First that make this happen for us. Maria Tilden, John Crum, Lindsay Lucas, our friend Susan Brandon. I know she's here. Maybe she ran out to go to the expo for their support over the years. And at this time, I'd like to introduce Director of Brand Development, Heather McDonough.
So thank you for having me this morning. We're very excited to be a part of this, as we have been for over a decade now. As a local not-for-profit company, we are extremely proud to partner with this organization. We love seeing Baltimore shine. We care deeply about the health of the community, and to see so many people continue to participate in this event is just something we look forward to every year. So we appreciate the partnership and have for many years, and will continue to do so. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Heather. Once again, I want to thank our good friends from Under Armour for their continued support of this event. As I mentioned, TV is something that really set us apart from our competitors out there all over the country. Having live TV is awesome, but you know what else is awesome? Having great shirts. And And every year, Under Armour, they support our event, and they really invest in our event, and they have been a terrific partner over the years. And it's something that, once again, I like to say that what these things are, these are little marketing and advertising opportunities for us, because invariably what happens is everybody that comes to Baltimore, runs in the Baltimore Running Festival, they wear this shirt in Chicago next week. They wear this in Los Angeles. They wear this in Detroit. They wear this in Philadelphia. And what happens when they're standing in line at the expo to get their Philadelphia shirt, they see this, somebody comes up to them and sees the shirt and says, "Oh, I heard about Baltimore. Is that a good event?" And bam, that guy turns into our best advocate, right? So it's an important part of our event, and I want to thank them for their support. Obviously, Kevin Plank has been great to us, Topher Gaylord, Tori Hanna, Aaron Wendell, and our longtime friend Jamie Christ, who's always been so supportive. I'd like to introduce Under Armour's Director of Run, Gabby Rodriguez.
Thank you, Lee. All right, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. Under Armour has been a proud partner of the Baltimore Running Festival for over 15 years, and we continue to be inspired as we see the activation light up our great city of Baltimore every single year. I'm excited and honored to be here, along with our partners of Corrigan Sports, to kick off the festivities for this wonderful celebration of the spirit of Baltimore and the experience of running. The Baltimore Running Festival brings together a world-class race experience with a hometown feel, and Under Armour is proud to be a part of the positive energy generated by the visiting and local runners racing through our streets this weekend and seeing beautiful Baltimore in a new and perhaps different light. As the city comes together this weekend, visitors and locals alike will celebrate all the hard work and unwavering perseverance that every single runner out there has put into their training. At Under Armour, we like to call this will. There is something very special about the grit and the grind that each and every athlete out there puts in every day to accomplish their goal. Whether it's the athlete running their first 5K or their 19th marathon, we're all here to celebrate that journey together. On Saturday, we will witness firsthand how sports can unite and inspire as people gather to encourage and cheer on friends and strangers alike as runners push through the miles. Regardless of the story or goal, Under Armour is proud to be a part of each runner's journey and honored to be a part of a community that celebrates the power of sport. Under Armour will once again provide all participants with an Under Armour t-shirt as part of their race packet. As a t-shirt guy, one of the main pillars at Under Armour that Kevin Plank tasked me and my team to do is to build great product. And I'm guaranteeing you that you're getting one of the best running shirts on Saturday. Any commentary, please don't hit up Lee. Hit me up with any of your comments on the shirts. But we know whether you're a first-time runner or an annual marathoner, adding to that growing collection of t-shirts, we know the runners love these shirts and wear them with pride long after they've completed their races. On behalf of every teammate at Under Armour, we hope you enjoy every moment of this incredible event just as much as we do each year. We also hope you're inspired by the resilience and accomplishment as runners cross the finish line and are encouraged and united by their pure power of will. Best of luck to all the runners and volunteers on Saturday. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Gabby. Next up, a great company headquartered right here in Baltimore. They moved to Baltimore a few years ago, and they've been a great partner here in the city. I want to thank our friends from Pandora Jewelry for their support in sponsoring the timing clocks, as well as creating our very own Baltimore Running Festival charm, which people are wild for, and they buy them in droves. So, well, special thanks goes out to Diane, Natalie, Mark Daly. At this time, I'd like to introduce the president of Pandora Americas, Sid Keswani.
Well, thank you. I'm not sure if I appreciate or don't the fact that he's got me speaking last, so I'm the guy between you and lunch, right? I think first I'd like to just tell you that I'm excited to be here. My wife and I moved to Baltimore about a little over a year ago, and live in the city and have completely enjoyed what the city is all about. It's the walkability and the ability to enjoy all the variety that we see in the city has been a great experience for us. So thank you for what you bring to the city, because I think this festival is a big part of the success that we see in Baltimore. Baltimore has been the home to Pandora Americas for about 5 years, and we're inspired by this community. We're proud to be part of this event again and be an official sponsor on the jewelry side. We're looking forward to being the official clock of the running festival and supporting all the runners at the Pandora Mile Water Stop. We are humbled and excited to be part of an event like this because we love to see our community come together and get excited when we have a chance to engage our consumers outside of our stores. As a brand, we've been on a marathon ourselves as we transform ourselves to connecting people to the voice of their loves. With this, we have a passion for people who love running, and we have our 2019 Baltimore Run Charm, which Lee mentioned as well. And I think we've got some people here that are actually wearing it. So if you want to see one, we'd be glad to show that to you, and it'll be available at the store at the Gallery Harbor Place as well. So thank you for coming out today. We're excited to be here and excited to be part of this community, and look forward to seeing everybody this Saturday. I was going to say, I heard Lee mention Sid, and I was looking at him, and I was like, okay, I'm going to be, other than the fact that we have the same name, I think the only other thing we have in common is I'll be only with you for the first 5 kilometers. After that, you're on your own. So thank you, and we're glad to be here.
Thank you.
Sure. What would you like?
I would like for you to repeat how much you love Baltimore.
Yeah, so my wife and I live in the city. We're in the Fed Hill area, and we enjoy living in the city. We love the walkability. We love the fact that there's so many choices and lots to do. And I think this event actually brings a lot of people into the city and makes it an enjoyable experience for us. We got to experience it last year as a surprise because we had just moved here. We had actually moved here about a week before it happened, but it continues to be a great experience. So thank you.
Thank you, Sid, and thanks for that endorsement of our great city. One last piece of business. Over 3,000 runners will be running our event on behalf of local charitable organizations. The revenue generated by those runners, which runs into the hundreds of thousands of dollars every year, will help fund those organizations throughout the year. This year, before we even get started, we're pleased to make some donations to some very worthy partners. We're going to ask the mayor to come out and help hold the check, as well as Blue, our mascot. Don't be frightened, everybody.
And then we'll wait until we call up our recipients. Lee, your first recipient, please.
The first recipient is Historic East Baltimore Community Action Coalition. Our friend Brandon Lockett, board chair. Brandon, come on up.
There we go. Good.
This crab's a little nervous in the
Oh, no
seafood
worries.
restaurant.
Everyone at me, please. Here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Looking at me. Thank you.
All right. Stay there, Mr. Mayor.
All right, next up, our old friends from the Maryland Zoo, Nancy Hines. Nancy and Jane Ballantyne have been here for years, and they're so supportive of our event. They allow us to run through the Maryland Zoo, which is also a very special aspect of our event. So here comes Nancy and Jane.
Nancy, come towards me, please. Nancy, come towards me. There we go. Good. Thank you. Here we go. Looking at me. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Good. Hold that. Thank you very much. One more for her.
Okay.
All right. Who gets this?
Next up, I got to tell you, these guys are awesome, and they put years back on our life because they bring their team of guys out there to help us with some of the operations and logistics and the building of the tents and setting up. They're out there today, tomorrow, as well as race day. Our friends from Helping Up Mission, Bob Gaiman. Bob, come on up, buddy.
Bob, come towards me a little bit. There we go. Let's lower the check down a little bit. There we go. Good. Looking at me, please. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. One more. This camera right here. Thank you. You're welcome.
Take the check, Mom.
All right. Let's have a party.
All right, next up is no one left unhelped. Lisa Moloch from the community coordinator. Where is Lisa? Here she comes.
Miss Lisa, come towards me a little bit. There we go. Big smiles at me. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Anyone else? Good. Thank you.
Next up, one of our special partners here, and they are a partner of Fulton Bank, and so I'm going to let Joe Durham do the honors here.
So celebrating their 100th anniversary, supporting the greater Baltimore community, Goodwill Industries of the Chesapeake, Lisa Raciniak, President and CEO.
Right next to the mantelpiece. Lisa, come towards me, please. A little bit more. There we go. Good. Everyone's looking at me. Big smiles. Ready? 3, 2, 1. One more. Thank you.
All right, next up, a guy who also has been around this event for 20 years and helped Corrigan Sports Enterprises start this, Mr. Mark Raganese. Let's hear it for Ragsy. I want to thank Ragsy for his continued work and continued support of this great event in the city. And I also want to thank all the Corrigan Sports Enterprises crew. We're 25 strong, and we're out there slinging it. And we got Dave Gell, our public relations, Amanda Corrigan, working on public relations. Booker, there's Booker over there. Booker, that .05K winner last night. And, of course, Sebastian. And then there's Ryan Corrigan's running around here someplace trying to sell somebody a sponsorship. Hop to it, boy. And next up, our friends from the United Way, Franklin Baker.
Okay, gentlemen. Right at me, please. 3, 2, 1. One more. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Yes.
Thanks to Blue for risking his life in this seafood restaurant. I would like to thank everybody for coming to the press conference. We're available for questions if you like. Also, I'd like everybody to join us for a great meal. They always put on a great spread here for us, so stick around, get yourself a nice meal. And if you have any panelists that you need for one-on-ones, you can see Dave Gell. Dave will hook you up with who you need to speak to. So thanks once again, everybody, for coming, and we look forward to a great day on Saturday. Thanks.